This is episode 77 of the SteadyTrade Podcast with your host, Steven Johnson.
Are you guys nervous? Is everything okay? Do you feel relaxed?
Today, Steven is joined by his two remaining team members, Liz.
You know that paranoid feeling of like impending doom?
And Jude.
I'm vibrating because I took alpha brain.
To talk about their progress in the paper trading challenge.
I want someone to sit next to me. I want to call 1-800-StockTutor and get someone next to me.
They talk about the ways they're adjusting to PDT, the pattern day trade rule that limits the amount of trades for US-based traders trading with an account of under $25,000. And Steven walks Liz and Jude through some of their recent trades, highlighting the importance of analyzing the daily charts.
Yes,
Can you see?
I can see it all. It's so complete and obvious. I will incorporate these into my trades in the future.
You'll probably want to watch that part on the YouTube version of this episode. And then, of course, Steven also asks the age-old question. Is that a matter boo-boo on your head?
You've got a matter boo-boo on your hair, though. You have got a matter boo-boo on your hair.
A matter?
A matter boo-boo.
A matter?
You have a matter.
What's a...
I don't know, Yogi. I don't know, Yogi.
Let's just get to today's episode.
Welcome back to the SteadyTrade Podcast. It is the Paper Trading Challenge. It's a live kind of podcast without Tim Bowen, thank God. And I am back, and it is the final 5. It's the final 2 of my contestants because we lost one. We lost Louis. And the 2 remaining contestants are the Raging Bull, Liz, and the more conservative, spiritual Jude. How are you doing, Jude? How are you doing, Liz?
I'm doing good. Liz?
Jude, your skin is radiating. What kind of meditation practice do you carry out to have such glowing skin?
I don't even know. I don't know if I could share that because it's a little bit controversial.
Transcendental.
No, that would be good though. That's supposed to help people sleep. I might spend some time in a yurt with a shaman drinking some interesting green
ayahuasca.
tea. Yeah.
Well, whatever, Jude. I feel physically calmer in your presence. And Liz, how are you doing? I'm just going to be honest with you, you don't seem to have that bullish go-getter, I'm on top of the world, self-destruction, wrecking ball by Miley Cyrus. You don't have that as much anymore. What's going on?
Well, you see my hands are tied. It's called the PDT.
Oh my God, you got put in PDT prison, right?
Yeah.
You've been locked up. And it's not one of those minimum security, it's maximum security. You're in with the real bad guys, right?
Yeah. I mean, I escape overnight, but I always come back.
You always return like a convicted felon with a bad track record, right?
Yeah.
So let's get an update. How are you guys doing? How are you performing? Let's start with you, Liz, because you were a front runner in the initial month. Well, Louis got knocked out. You were scalping like the world was going to end the next day, and you were doing a good job. So what's changed? How has operating from a smaller account affected you, and what's your trading balance now? You started with 1,500, right?
Yeah. So
where are you now?
Man, yesterday I was at 886, right?
Oh my God! Can we take a moment's silence for that? That is half your account.
Yeah, so I lost half of my account. I realized where I made the mistakes though. But so what I did, I was shorting overnight 60,000 shares of, one second, I think it's, NHPI. Okay. That's a big amount. Yeah. So this morning I was up like $100 and something, 160. So I tried to exit, but I was so tired. I woke up at 9:25 and I pressed 60,000 sell. So then it doubled my thing. And then I was like, I shut it down and I reopened it, and it reopened on a new browser. It was AXXA. And so then I bought 60,000 of that. So I just sold it. I lost my last day trade. So now I'm literally stuck 181,000 shares in NHPI. I'm up $500, but it's not real. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a mistake. But yeah.
Okay, I mean, Liz, what I would say to you is I've been watching your videos back. I haven't been ignoring them. I know I've been preaching at you. I know that I've been preaching that you analyze the daily chart, and I'm not sure how much you're still doing that, or if you are. We'll talk about that a bit more. But I have been hearing words like hold and hope. Tim got into this, so I got into this, and didn't want to. Want to quit.
That was NHPI too. He said it on the webinar, and I was like, let me check it out.
So what personal lessons would you send out to the trading community based on what you've learned this week?
Dude, trading community.
Just the podcast community. The traders, the steady traders, the steady traders
worldwide. Like, okay, so when a chart is going, like if you think of a square, right? And you're looking at the square like you're looking at a mirror. If the line goes from the bottom left to the top right, then I would hold it overnight. But I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. But that's my new technique now.
If it closes strong.
Yeah, like what I'm doing is like it's shooting up, I buy, and then if I'm out of day trades, I'm holding it all the way until it crashes. I would lose like $200 like every day I was doing that. But I was still like, ooh, shiny, moving, got to take it. So it was bad.
Yeah, and the shiny moving objects, you've got to realize that these are the trades that everyone else is watching. And if 90% of traders lose and everyone's watching what you're watching, if you do what everyone else is doing, you're probably going to be in the 90% that lose, right? So what you've got to do is kind of look at the daily picture and find a spot where 90% are selling where you buy, so you do the opposite. And we'll go over some examples. And I am no better. Like I've had a really rough month this hard. Wow. And whether for you, maybe it's not quite yet understanding the technicalities. For me, it's knowing the technicalities, but not having the discipline to execute them. And that's the next battle that you'll come to. But Jude, I was extremely proud of you. We've talked a lot about analyzing the daily chart. And when I saw your NBEV trade, my heart literally sank because you analyzed that daily chart to a T. You analyzed it 100% correctly. And you made $120. So how have you been doing this week and where are you? And just well done.
Thank you. I did my second trade today. Okay, so PDT rule, we don't have that in Canada. So I had to learn about that. And it felt like a blessing at first because felt like I could finally relax and not try to get a whole bunch of trades in because I wasn't being disciplined with that. And now it was like under the PDT rule, if I'm stuttering, it's because I'm on alpha brain and caffeine right now. It's a bad, this is a bad combo. It's a bad combo. I did that so I could wake up this morning.
You've got a mada boo boo on your hair though. You have got a mada boo boo on your hair.
What?
A mada boo boo. You have a mada boo boo on your head.
I do not have a boob on my head.
What's a matter, boo boo?
Oh no, don't
I don't know, Yogi.
Just so we can move on. He was asking it.
Thanks, I thought he was seeing a boob on my head, but anyway.
You've snorted some alpha brain. You've chopped that stuff into tablets. You've crushed it. Snorted some alpha brain. You've had some double espresso, and now you're a bit stuttery, but that's okay. You showed up. So,
okay, so PDT rule, it felt more relaxed to me. So now I'm like, okay, I can only make trades that I know are going to be good. So that was good. And I was really happy with my NBEV yesterday. But then I re-entered NBEV today. I waited for the VWAP reclaim. And because of PDT rule. I didn't exit when I should have. I held it because I was like, if I exit this now, which I normally would, I just exit and then jump into a different trade or retrade it. I was like, oh, I'm going to lose a trade. And so I held it, hoping it would bounce back up, and it didn't.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mistake there, but the NBEV trade was super cool. What I would say is, and I speak to some different entrepreneurs being in advertising, and the one common lesson that really applies to stock trading is, in business, try not to let the highs be too high and try and not let the lows be too low. And it's exactly the same as in trading as well. When you get that win, when you get that good trade, enjoy the win, but don't let it go. Don't let it go too much to your head, because that's when you go hell for leather and make the huge mistake on the next trade. And when you like fuck up, excuse the language, when you fuck up, like don't beat yourself up too much about the loss, because ultimately it's just a trade, and we're just learning and we're just trying to get to the next level as well. So Jude, how would you say the PDT has affected you from trading with a bigger account? What kind of changes to your strategy have you made? Because you were trading the 52-week highs, the VWAP holds.
I actually haven't changed, because when you guys gave us the $30,000 account, I was still trading as if I was trading real money, because that's all I knew. So everyone's making these massive trades with shares and making big wins, but I was still trading 300 shares in the first month. So there isn't really much of a change. It actually feels more comfortable to me.
That's nice. And I just want to say, and I admire that kind of approach and that kind of strategy of keeping it close to real cash. So when you move to real cash, you'll be comfortable as well, which I'd imagine you already are. But we're coming up to Christmas. I'd like to say Merry Christmas to both of you. I'd love to have Christmas dinner with each of you, but it's just not possible because we're in different countries. But if you could finish Christmas and go into the new year, what would be the 3 resolutions that you would make to improve your trading based on what you've learned in the last few months? Jude first.
See, I understand what you taught me was looking for the bottom, the support. And I understand that that's a good place to buy, because it's good to buy close to support. I think I would.
But why though? Why is it good to buy close to support? Elaborate on that, because it's so important.
Because that's the risk. And so if it breaks support, you know to get out, and the losses will be small.
So if you buy right on support, you know that if it breaks support, that's your risk level. So if you buy at support and it works, you've got 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1 risk reward. But if you buy at support and it fails, you've only risked a very small amount, right?
Exactly. And I'm starting to learn that it's not always about buying a stock that's proving. I mean, you want it to prove. You're looking for indicators and the catalyst, but it's more trusting that first buy. Like, I'm going to buy it. Here's support. If it works, I'm going to make money. If it doesn't work, I'm out. But the risk to reward is greater than, for example, waiting for it to move up and then buying when it's already 20, 30 cents away from support.
Exactly. And it's just like being a bookmaker, right? If you're a bookmaker, you only want to take the plays or make the bets that are good risk reward. So you're going to think, well, I'll put a bet on that this is going to work, because it's kind of likely that it will bounce and the odds are quite good, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
In the next level, like, so you're looking at that on a daily level, right? So you're looking at the support on the daily chart.
Yeah, I mean, I like to look at support from the previous day. So if there was a couple of tops and now that becomes support, I feel comfortable with that. Yeah.
But I mean, just from what I've seen from a lot of the traders that do a good job is they'll identify a level of support on the daily level, and then intraday they'll wait for it to bounce on that support, and then they'll wait for the double bottom intraday, or they'll wait for the higher low intraday.
Yeah.
And then if you can add to that the SPY or the Dow Jones is actually moving up at the same time, then you've got like 3 bullish indicators. You've got the daily support level, you've got the intraday double bottom, and you've got the overall markets moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and I knew where to enter NBEV this morning, and it did have a double bottom. but the market did go down and it did break that support. Unfortunately, I bought at VWAP, which was about 30 cents higher than the support. And so I lost about 30 cents a share.
But you realized your lesson though, that you bought too far away from the support and then you didn't have the good risk. You didn't have as good risk reward.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
I
you
mean,
knew
I
where
think
you were coming from.
VWAP break is good, but it broke a little bit too early, and just the way the movement of the VWAP and the moving average, what I've noticed is a good entry. It didn't do that, so I just kind of jumped in too soon because of my good trade yesterday.
Which is fair enough. I mean, I am famous for having 4 green weeks in a row, or 6 green weeks in a row, or 7 green weeks in a row, and then losing $4,000. I'm famous for it. I've done it over and over and over and over again. I am literally the best person ever at getting overconfident and taking a huge loss. And people will say to me, like, your risk reward's all wrong. Your risk reward's all wrong. There's something wrong with your risk reward. I'm like, there is nothing wrong with my risk reward. I do exactly what you say. I buy the double bottoms at support. I short the double tops at resistance. My risk reward is brilliant. But every now and then, when I've had a great run, I just think I am not cutting this loss, or I am taking this risk because I am invincible like Superman. And then
Exactly.
the biggest loss comes. Like, you've had a mini loss today, and I've had significantly bigger ones with real money. But it's if you get master that, then you're onto a winner, Jude.
Yeah, it's all about the discipline. So there's my second New Year's resolution: being more disciplined.
But the thing with you, Jude, is we'll go on to Liz in just a second, and then we'll go on to some charts after that. But what I'm particularly proud about is in this competition, seeing you from the beginning to seeing you now, you're reading daily charts better. You're seeing the bigger picture better, and you've refined your entries better, and you're kind of starting to see results where now it's more like, can I beat my own inner psychology rather than I just don't know what I'm doing, right? You know what you're doing now. It's more you versus you, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Good. It's just the next level. It's like a video game. You break through one level and you get through the next. You break through that one, you get through the next. And so I'm actually excited that this is the next challenge for me.
Cool. And it's been we've got a long way to go still, but it's been a privilege to teach you, and it's really good to see you, Lynn.
It's been awesome for me too. So thank you.
It's cool. And Liz, you're one of the funniest people I've met, and you're a super cool girl as well. But for you, I want to get you to analyze the daily chart better. And we've gone through this a few times, and you struggle with it. And I see you rolling your eyes, like, not the daily chart again, not the daily chart again. And we'll do some live examples right now. But what is it that you're struggling with to analyze the daily chart?
I want someone to like sit next to me. Like, I want to call 1-800-StockTutor and get someone next to me. I literally sat down. I sat down today and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, all this stuff is moving. I was like, what?
That's good. Liz, pick up the phone and call 1-800. Have you got a phone next to you right now? Pick up call the number now and say I need 1-800-STOCK. Just call the number right now.
Okay.
Are you calling? Put it to you. Yeah.
Hold on, it's stock. I gotta type it out. TOCK. I need 3 more numbers. Stock.
Just 5432. Just press the call button.
Okay.
Faster. This is not conducive to the audience.
Hold on.
Bring. Hello, Liz. I am your savior. I have come to the daily chart.
Listen, I don't know.
I am here to help you. I am here. Don't worry. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna get through this together.
Hello. Yeah, no, legit. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, so let's go through some charts.
Hold on. I've been studying so much. Like, somebody go and check my profit lead hours. I study so much and I don't get it. Like, you know how Tim Sykes sometimes he's like, if you don't get it after 3 years, you're an idiot. Like, that's how I feel. I don't get it. I was like running today. I was like, it might take 10 years.
Liz, you're on the Paper Trading Challenge because you not only have character and charisma, but I believe that you have the ability to get to the next level. And I just want to instill some confidence in you, because we would not publicly have someone who would just fail. Okay, you're here because you've got the determination, you've got the enthusiasm, you've got the effort. So let's run through the dailies. Let's get you to the next level. Let's go through it, because honestly, analyzing the daily chart is simple. It's quite simple once you understand it. Jude is starting to get it, and we'll have Jude here as well. Jude, please, let's go through the daily chart. Let's help Liz together.
Yes.
Understand it, okay?
Can you like do a quiz section on whatever you're about to do to see how much I understand?
Yes, that's exactly what my plan was today. You read my mind like Luke Skywalker from Star Wars. This is exactly what we're about to do.
What is, I don't fucking know. I'm
One
playing
second.
What is, okay, do a question. Do a question.
I am going on desktop. I'm going to show you a chart and we're going to annotate it together. What can you guys see? I just wrote some words that Liz said. Hold and hope. Tim got into this. He's on me notes. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at lovely Liz. Liz, you looked at INNT and ONCS, and what I really want to break down for you is the daily chart and the importance of analyzing the daily chart. And there is so much information. It is like a hidden religious textbook with the secrets to human existence. So let's have a look at ONCS. This was straight away. This is such an important chart. There's so much information on this. I can't see your reactions because I've gone full screen. Can you guys see everything okay?
Yeah. I just don't get it.
So Liz, you bought on this day here, right?
Yeah.
Right? So what
were you thinking?
I'll tell you what.
It's a bad sushi chart. It's bad sushi.
Who said that, Liz?
That's from Trader Checklist. Bad sushi. It's a gap down.
Bad sushi is when you have this big gap down here. So why would you buy a chart where the company is fundamentally shown that it is terribly fundamentally, and it is recently, as of November, had some very bad news? Why would you buy that?
Hold on, because I don't know. 1 second. What day was that?
No, just let's just go on technical analysis based on this bad sushi.
I'm not looking at this chart. I'm looking at intraday, and I'm seeing stuff spike, and I'm chasing it.
I know, but this is where you're going wrong, and this is why I'm trying to help you. This is a 2-year chart, right? If you look at from the high to the low,
yeah. What
direction is this chart going?
Down.
Yes, you can see this line. Down? Okay, and when this chart, can you see this, Jude, as well? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when this chart spikes, can you see these big wicks?
Uh-huh.
Big wick when it spikes. The last time it spiked big, look at this big wick.
Uh-huh.
You can see a kind of a wick here as well. So if it had a big, and this is on volume as well, right? So if this spiked on volume and it opened at 225, got up to 3 and closed at around 250, give back pretty much all of its gains, what do you think it's going to do the next time it spikes with volume? Bear in mind, it's just had the bad sushi as well.
It's going to go down. But
it's gonna spike and give back all its gains. So when you were chasing this, what did you think was going to happen?
I can't remember. But if it's moving, I'm there.
But that's exactly it. I mean, this is what I would say, and this is such an important thing. This is more of a short than a long. It's not really a short because you don't know, like you say how it's got this support level here, where it's kind of it's resistance, but it's where it's previously supported. And isn't it interesting? It's quite unbelievable that it's supported at 125, and look where it found resistance at 120-ish. That's where the wick was before it came down.
Wow.
It's quite fascinating, that, right?
Super cool.
But the point is that 90% of traders, like you, because you haven't quite had the experience to develop a more sophisticated strategy, is you'll follow the shiny object, you'll follow what's moving, you'll follow 90% of what traders do, and then because you've done that, you've lost. But the people who look at the bigger picture, the people that follow the daily charts, will think that's bad sushi, that's a downtrending chart, this has a history of giving back all of its gains when it spikes. I am not going to go along this. If I do anything, I'm going to go short. Where am I going to go short? I'm going to go short where it previously supported, because support will then become resistance and it should fail there. And it not only will fail, but it will fail and give a lot of its spike back, because that's what it's done in the past. And history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes, right? Do you know what I mean? That's a long-winded explanation, but do you get it?
It makes sense when you tell me, and then I forget it almost. Like, I don't know what happens, but I sit down at the computer and I go like, let's chase.
Yeah, I used to be like that as well. And you will lose and lose and lose and lose and lose until the pain of losing makes you remember. I always found that when I was trading, I would know nothing, and then I would study and I would learn stuff, and then I would know it, but I couldn't do it in the moment of the action.
Mm-hmm.
But then I would learn more stuff, and then the stuff that I'd learned before that, I would start putting into action, but then I couldn't put the new stuff into action. And you're constantly catching up with yourself on a 3-month cycle of learning more stuff. Then 3 months later, the stuff that you learn, you put into action. And it's quite a symbiotic process. But you will slowly put it into action. It's so new in your head, you can't do it under pressure.
It's somewhere in there.
Liz, you're a smart girl. You're quite funny. I love your grandparent YouTube channel.
She's my mother. I told you already.
I'm sorry. When I met you in real life, I was like, wow, there's Liz, the celebrity on YouTube. Like,
I was like, there's Steven, the celebrity from YouTube. Listen, I want the viewers to know that is my mother. She gave birth to me when she was 40. Okay.
Okay, so she's just an old mother. That's okay. My mom's quite old as well.
I survived, and I will survive this challenge.
Okay, let's look at INNT. You see this? INNT, I think you went long. Let's just move it down so I can annotate. In fact, Jude, what do you think of INNT? Say, for example, let's draw on this a little bit. Where am I?
I would probably wait for the breakout above 3.
Say this day. You see this day here?
Mm-hmm.
Say it's coming towards the end of the day. Yeah, what would you do? You'd wait for 3?
Well, probably most people would short at 3, but I don't short, and I don't want to start practicing now. But I would probably, because I'm long, I would probably set an alert for when it passes 3, and then I would wait for it to go up and then find support and consolidation at 3.
Why 3?
Well, it's a whole number, and you can see that it's tapped 3 a few times, so that's resistance. And if it breaks above 3, and if it dips down into 3, then that's support. I'm thinking. I don't even know if I would. Well, no, INNTs.
What do you think about it being a downtrending chart? Does that put you off?
Well, it doesn't put me off if it's moving in the morning, and if my buy pattern is there, which is within 10 or 15 minutes of the chart.
Okay. Do you know what I can tell you? What I can see immediately with this stock? The last time it had volume, you see how it traded 5 million here? The last time it had explosive volume, it ran not just 1 day, but it ran 2 days. It had its first green day here and its second green day here. And then here, it didn't have as much volume, but it had a series of 5 green days together.
Right.
So while it might be downtrending, this stock proves that when it has this explosive volume, it can generally put a few green days together, right? Jude, you're exactly right to think that it has it's bottomed around this area, then it's topped around this area. Now it's come to this 3 level. So you've got this this break of 3, which it struggled to break before. But if it breaks this 3 and it holds this 3, and it's trading this explosive volume, and it's got a history of running before, it's quite likely to think that if with the right catalyst, there's a chance that it would run a few days. So for me, buying into the close, if it holds intraday strongly at 3, there's a reasonable expectation to think that this should run a second day. It didn't run. It didn't run a second day. You can't always guess correctly. You will not always be right. But I think it's reasonable to say I'll buy this if it supports that 3 intraday, wait for it, and then if it fails, I'll be out at 290, and if it runs, I'll take profits at 350. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I said.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just adding a few different factors, but you've
totally.
hold
The volume still trips me up. I still forget. That's the one thing that I'm learning, but I keep forgetting to check and pay.
Most important thing, is the stock overextended? Is it undervalued? And how big is the volume? They're kind of the most important indicators, more important than anything else. So they are Liz's charts, but can you see the difference between when you're looking at longs, right? ONCS has never, ever put 2 green days in its history, right? It's never, it always gaps up and fails, or it has big wicks. So ONCS is clearly a shitty company. Where the INNT has put 5 green days in together, it's put 2 big green days in together now. It didn't, yeah, but that's not to say it won't again. But it's just saying there's a difference between a good stock and a less good stock, right? This one is a better stock because it can put multiple green days in a row. People have confidence in it when they buy it. They'll hold it because they think it has some level of value. Let's have a quick look at Jude's trades. Do you want to look at your NBEV trade?
Mm-hmm.
NBEV is a really interesting one because NBEV kind of rocketed when the wheat sector. NBEV basically rocketed when it had the Coca-Cola deal. You remember Coca-Cola was going to look to invest in NBEV.
Yeah.
NBEV's a drink company.
Yeah.
That was during the conference. NBEV.
Yeah, it went 3 to 10. So Jude, why don't you, I mean, you bought this stock. Let's mark it out so people can see. You bought this stock on this breakout. Oh, yeah, right. On this green candle. I'll just move this down. So what was your thinking? I mean, the stock's basically, it's rocketed up. It's a former runner. It's come back down. So, I mean, there's a lot of people who bought here who are now underwater. There's a lot of people who are like trapped when they bought in the 8s and it's now in the 5s. So it's a bit of a funny buy, but wheat's really hot right now as well. So it's a bit of a funny buy. So why don't you explain your thought process?
Okay, looking at the daily chart, there was, several areas that hit the $5 resistance line, which I think became support.
You really are getting it. I really like this. So basically, when you're saying that, you're saying it bottomed here.
Yeah.
It bottomed here. And Liz,
Yeah.
this is so important for you to see because this is how you map out support and resistance. What we're doing is on the daily chart, we're looking at where in the daily chart area is the area where we can see the most kind of consolidation between the full-bodied candles and the wicks. So, and basically where the most congestion occurs between the candles, it shows that the stock hovers around that area because that's kind of the area where it feels most comfortable in, which is almost the price where it should be, the price where it spends the most time, right? So we've got the wick here, and then we've got the bottom here, and then we've got the top. It topped out on this day here and came down. Then it topped out here as well. And then it opened here, but it couldn't hold it. And then it kind of closed here, and then this is where Liz is bought. So we're looking for these areas where it's bottomed, opened and failed. Do you know what I mean? We're looking for the most areas where you can see that have all attributed to one price. Does that make sense, Liz?
Mm-hmm.
And then based on that, we're looking at saying, right, all of these areas, it either tops or bottoms at like 510. So then on the intraday chart, you're saying if it double bottoms or double tops at around 510, that means that the daily thesis that you've recognized is correct. And then you'll make a clever risk-reward trade based on that daily thesis once it's confirmed on the intraday. Does that make sense?
Can you?
Does it make? Go on.
I guess.
Does it make sense to you, Jude?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that's all what trading is. That's it. That's it. Once you get that, that's it. Then it's all discipline. And
can you put it on the day chart, the intraday?
That is the day chart. Intraday, I can't do that.
Okay.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. I know it's Christmas. I want to give you a Christmas gift. I can't do it.
Okay.
But I know what you did. You literally bought on this day, because I looked at your video and it dropped around to the 520s and you bought the dip. I don't think you waited for a double bottom, but you kind of bought the dip at the open.
Yeah,
right?
I can't remember.
I think you bought on this day.
I think I bought just as it did dip, but it came above VWAP and the moving average, and the moving average was coming up to cross the VWAP. That's like my favorite morning pattern.
Let's see if I can find it, because I might be able to find it for you. Yeah, so you basically, this is the open, right?
Yeah.
It's dipped, which is around the 5s, I think.
Which it did today too, but it didn't do the same thing.
But do you see this dip that you bought where it's dipped down to the 520s? Or the 540s? It's dipped down to the 540s, yeah? And then you bought it when you had this, like, it opened, bottomed, nice to wait for that. You see that little double bottom and the higher low on these candles? And then you bought it as it passed VWAP.
Yep.
And then it ripped from the 5. So basically, maybe your risk was 540. You had 10 cents risk and you sold it in the 6s. So you made 50 cents for a 10-cent risk.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the daily chart a little bit closer, the support was around 520s, 530s. And the breakout level was about the 520s, 530s. Yeah. So, I mean, I like the idea that you let it break above this level. You let it kind of double bottom. You waited for it to go above VWAP. And then you've got a super, super solid trade. If you do that over and over and over again, you're onto a winner, because you see how it struggled. It struggled to like get above this 520, 530 level. You've waited for it to prove strength by washing out, regaining VWAP, pushing in the morning. And then it's broke through this level. And when it breaks through that level, everyone who's short in the 520s, 530s is covering because that resistance level is broke. And everyone's going long, like you're going long, because that 520s, 530 level is run. And then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that there's so much demand on the ask that it's gonna rip up.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear my lesson on today's.
So what did you do today?
I bought when it came over VWAP again. I thought it could do the same thing.
What price? But why? Because it's already broke this level. The next level is 7. You see this next level? And look where it topped. Look where it topped.
I thought it was. I know, and I was going to sell at that point. I was ready to, at least sell before it hit 7.
But the other lesson is support and resistance isn't enough just to analyze. So you've got to play support and resistance and volume, but you've also got to think is, what does this stock normally do? Like, look at this level of volume here. It's not that big volume, right? So this stock normally put in 2 days here, put in 3 days here, put in kind of 3 days here. But this stock doesn't really put in more than 2 or 3 days in a row on this kind of volume. So you've got to think, if you're buying on this is its 3rd day here. If you're buying on its 3rd day, the chances are it's probably not going to hold its highs, because it's got a history of kind of putting 2 days in together and then failing on the 3rd.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So you can place it and you're buying way above support.
Yeah, it's just like what Liz said. There's just so much information, and it's just trying to get it to stick. It's just like learning and
Chinese.
Yeah, it's Chinese. Yeah.
But I think that's okay. And like I say, I mean, it's like you'll go to a Spanish class and you'll be going, "Por cora ese comía estaso, por favor," and you'll think, "I'm great, me," and then you'll go to Spain. You'll quiera esco donde está una cerveza. You'll think you're great. And then you'll go to Spain and the taxi driver will be speaking and you'll be thinking, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." Do you know what I mean?
¿Dónde aprendiste español, Steven?
And ¿dónde está una cerveza? Por favor. Right? And it's one thing being in the class thinking, "I've really got this," but then when you go to Spain, you're thinking, "I don't know what's going on here. I can't order anything, even at a restaurant, in a tourist place." And it's the same with trading. It's so difficult to put your money on the line and read the level 2 and read the chart and look at the news. And hindsight trading is so much easier than trading in real life. Like, I mean, if I could make a living of teaching people hindsight trading, I could comfortably be a millionaire. Because the difference between a good trader and a good teacher is the good trader can instinctively see the hindsight before it happens, right?
Yeah.
And you did that. You saw that with MBEV, but then you made a mistake the next time.
I
But
forgot. I
but
got
at
too
least you got,
excited. I was like, I'm going to do this again.
but that's fine. I mean, if you make 50 good trades and 50 bad trades this year, then next year you might make 70 good trades and 30 bad trades. Then the next year you might make 80 good trades and 20 bad trades. As long as you eliminate the mistakes and getting better at what you already got at, that's fine. But I'm not too concerned about you. I think you're on the right track. I think you're making the progress, and I think you're getting there. My mission is more on Liz, to get Liz to read the daily charts better. And Liz, after this example, can you see the daily chart with a bit more clarity now?
Yes,
Can you see?
Stephen, I can see it all. It's so complete and obvious. I will
Jude.
incorporate this into my trades in the future.
I mean, Jude,
I have no
why don't you
fucking
explain?
idea what's going on.
Jude,
No, I
you
do.
explain.
I'm kidding.
Jude, you explain your trade to Liz to give a different perspective, and then we'll wrap up with goals for the end of the month. And yeah.
Sorry, what do
So
you want
Jude,
me to explain?
Do you want to talk Liz through this trade, just so you can kind of explain your thought process, and then we'll wrap up for goals for the coming month?
I thought we just did that.
I know, but I want Liz to understand.
I get
no
it.
matter
I
what.
get it. Okay, there's a level there at 5-ish. Once it breaks out, hold it till 7. I hear you.
I watched a great video, and it just reminded me that when a stock price taps a certain level 3 times, and that's a significant resistance or support level. And so now I look for that. I count, like, how many times is it tapping, and then I draw my line in, and that's helped me a lot.
Yeah, that's incredibly important.
Is it going to break out after 3 taps?
No, but the key.
It could. Yeah.
The key lesson in that is the more times it fails to break out of a certain level, whether it taps twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, the more significant the breakout will be when it does break out. So if it fails 3 times as a short, I'm shorting this because the last 3 times it did it failed. So it's probably going to fail again, because we're always working on history as a guide, right? So the one time, say it fails 9 times, everyone's going short thinking it failed 9 times, it's going to fail a 10th time. But the one time it doesn't fail, all of those shorts who shorted right at that resistance level are covering, which is buying. And all of the longs are like, wow, it finally broke. I'm going long everything. I'm putting my house on this because it failed 9 times and now it's broke.
Yeah.
So the more times it taps, the more significant the breakout. And you can bet your bottom dollar the first time a stock touches a resistance level, it will fail. It will fail. It will fail. It will fail the first time because it has to push, come back down, figure out what the shit in hell it wants to do, consolidate, get more troops to fight the war, and then push the Game of Thrones wall down. Do you know what I mean? But you're not going to win the war the first time you touch it. It takes a couple of attempts. And
there has to be volume on a breakout.
Volume.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other huge thing, right?
Yeah.
You really do listen to the lessons. I'm so proud. You really listen. So, like, if a stock crashes with 50 million shares volume, basically, it's hard to explain, but it's like wherever the resistance is on the chart, it's not really where the resistance is. It's more where the resistance days are with heavy volume are. So if there's resistance with a lot of volume, that resistance level is more important than resistance with a lower volume day. Do you know what I mean? Or no? So for example, you see on this chart here, you see the 100 million on this day. So this stock got to 10. When it hit 10, it hit 10 on 100 million, right? So the next time, if it hits 970, 980 on 10 million, 8 million, it's not going to break because it took 100 million to get a 10. It's probably going to need a good 60, 70, 80, 100, 120, 140 million to break through 10. It's either going to go like this, consolidate and then push, Or like if it gets like 50 million here, it'll break. But it needs to consolidate near the 950s and then push through on 50 million. But if this stock is going to go from here all the way through here, it's going to need like 200 million, because you've got all of the bag holders who've been holding around this area, and they will all be selling into the next push, and you need the next wave of buyers to push it through, and you've got all the shorts who are shorting this 10 area. So you need about 200 million for it to break through, or it needs to gradually go up, hold, drop, hold, drop, and then push through. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you get it? You get it?
I get it. So are you adding up the volume for the
little bit, yeah, a little bit, yeah. I do. But do you get it, Liz?
Huh? Yeah, I get it.
I'm just saying,
I got it.
like
Get it,
all of
Connie.
like.
So it has to have more volume to have a breakout, because all of those people are probably underwater.
Yes, absolutely. Look, there's like
They're
100
gonna wanna
million shares
sell.
traded on 100 million shares traded on this day. So if the float's 50 million, that means the whole float are pretty much underwater. So the next push, all of these people are going to sell. So you need 200 million volume to counteract the 100 million that are going to sell. And then you need another 100 million shares to push it through the breakout level.
All right.
That's why on these downtrodden, downbeaten charts, you need huge volume to break the trend of a downtrend on the daily. And this is why I was criticizing your ACB buy the other day. Because I was saying, without great volume, you're not going to break through these resistance levels. But like I said, I don't want to be too hard on Liz. Liz, you will get there. I don't want to be too praising Jude. But Jude, I think if you learn what I know without my mental capacity to be crazy, between my mentalness, if I can depart the knowledge and you can be a steady crystal worshipping spiritual woman, then maybe you can be the profitable trader, and I will die a gambling addict, but at least I would have helped someone.
Yay.
And then my mission is done. I will die a happy alcoholic. Do you know what I mean? So we've gone through some heavy technical analysis. For anyone who's on the podcast, please watch the YouTube, because we have been scribbling all of our charts throughout this podcast to really give a live lesson. Liz, we'll go with you first. What is your Christmas wish, apart from a kiss under the mistletoe with the man of your dreams? What is your kind of trading wish?
Let me tell you, that would not be my Christmas wish. It would be like a nice crisp check for $1 billion.
You crack me up, Liz. We have to be friends after this in real life.
What?
We'll have to be friends in real life after this.
I think we are.
We're kind of all friends, right? Oh, yeah. I've just been drawn over a chart. Did you see the chart? I'm really worried you didn't.
Me?
Is my chart on the screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good. I was looking at the sentence and it was like share again, and I'm like, you guys, I was like, I hope you guys aren't just nodding, being polite when I'm like drawing lines everywhere and you're like, can't actually say anything. And I'm like, that would be a disaster. I'm like, you guys are really not listening if that's you can't see the drawings, right? I'm not just going mental. Okay.
Yeah, we see the drawing. Okay, so what did you ask me? My wishes and stuff.
Just what do you want to aim for in 2019? What do you want to what you've recognized your downfalls? You struggle a little bit with the daily chart analysis. You're struggling to wrap your head around this Chinese world of stock trading. What's your 2019 goal?
So I'm looking forward to the January effect. I know that means stocks run.
Jude's just ran away. She's just like, don't need to let anymore. I've got it. Crack trading. Like, I've got it.
Yeah. So January effect. I know holding overnight works as long as the chart is uptrending. I have to not use my day trades intraday. And I don't know what we're going to start with in terms of an amount, but I have to stop chasing stuff. And intraday chasing has been the worst for me.
You are really bad at it. I'm going to be honest. You are one of the worst people I've ever seen at intraday chasing ever in my life.
Thank
I'm gonna be
goodness
honest.
that I'm.
I'm going to be honest with you right now.
I'm doing it
You're
on
the worst
like.
people I've ever seen.
All right, I'm doing it on paper trade. I think trading with $1,500 on a paper account is so smart because it really teaches you like, what it's like to start out. It's really, really hard, especially when you're used to chasing and scalping. It's just not going to work in the real world. Like starting with $1,500 on a paper account, good. Do it for a year. Do it for 5 years. Like that's how you like get better, for 2019. Gonna continue intermittent fasting, making more content. I made a video about how to make eggs yesterday. How to make honey yolk eggs.
Perfect. Intermittent fasting, but let's stick to trading. I love the intermittent fasting, but trading.
All right.
So
no, because it's a discipline thing. Like I guess more discipline in all areas of your life. What else? Like to study as much as I can. The worst thing that I'm doing is like I'll put in a video for trading and I'll be like, oh, Instagram. Like I can't focus. It's so bad. And I'm just like, stop it, Liz, focus. And then 10 minutes later, I'm just like, oh, I need to do this, or well, maybe I'll do that, or let me run to the post office. Like I just don't focus. I'm like, do I need Ritalin?
Alpha brain.
I've heard that Adderall is quite good for focus. I'm not recommending it.
No.
I've heard
I tried
Adderall
it.
in high doses
So
is quite good. And
Alpha
crystal
brain
meth.
made me feel like my heart is beating too fast. I'm just like, how do I study? I'm just like, oh, I need to study and I can't. I need a 1-800 stock tutor to sit next to me.
Hello?
Some ganja.
Oh my God, hello?
Hello, 1-800 stock tutor. Now, Liz, what I would say to you is please focus on the daily, focus on support and resistance. Look, first of all, is the stock up? Like, is a 3-point checklist. 1, is the stock chart on the daily chart going up or is it going down? 2, where is the support and resistance levels based on the candles? And where can I identify a line in the sand based on where the stock has consolidated the most on the daily chart? And then 3, is the intraday chart confirming what the daily chart is suggesting? Is there a double bottom on the daily support level?
So many words.
Or is there not? Watch the podcast again. Watch these lessons again. Watch them 10 times. If you're still confused, I will come over for New Year's. We'll have a party in New York and we'll do it in person for 1-800 radio or telephone chat, whatever.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
Yeah, I don't mean any of it, but it sounds good on the air. And Jude, what are your goals for 2019 based on where you've come from?
Sorry, I had to run out because I had to go to the bathroom. My bladder was going to burst. So I couldn't think anymore.
I love that you told it. Do you feel more rested and comfortable now?
I do.
Did you get it all out?
I'm sure there's more that could come out, but I wanted to get back here for the podcast.
That's okay. If you want to go for a wee right now, just go for a wee. And Jude, so what's your next steps for learning? Obviously, you need to master your discipline a bit more, and so do I. So we're both in that together. But what steps are you going to take to continue improving to win this competition?
I just need to keep practicing, putting in the support, resistance, volume, everything that you've been teaching. I know that it's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. But if I'm not shampooing, then there's nothing to rinse and repeat. So I need to keep shampooing. And
what's your balance right now? What's your trading balance right now?
Well, after that little loss, I'm about $60 or $70 green.
Nice.
That is 886.
You're under PDT. You're on 1500, and you're green.
I'm green, yeah.
And you're trading like you would be with a real account. And the market is
Not with my account, because if I was under a real account, I don't have
You wouldn't end up
PDT.
with
So I would have gotten out of NBEV a lot faster, but I held on to it because I didn't want to give up one of my trades. But I like trading with real money. I don't know, it just feels natural
it's
to me
fun.
on my own account, small amount of shares.
Yeah, I mean, as lasting comments to close this, I would just say, Liz, just practice drawing that line in the sand on the daily chart. Try and look at the data to see, does it run 2 green days in a row, 3 green days in a row? Does it have those big wicks to say that it doesn't run one day in a row? And if it doesn't run one day in a row and it has the big wicks, then don't go long. If it's the first green day with volume and it's got a history of running 3 green days in a row, then buy that green day anticipating 2 green days, 3 green days. Jude, for you're really grasping an understanding of the daily chart. And not only that, but you kind of have an intuition to see a move before it happens, which you did with NBEV, which is a great step to trading successfully. I think just don't beat yourself up about the losses. Enjoy the wins. Don't take the lows too low. And I think with another 6 months, 3 months, 6 months of screen time, now that you get a strategy, now that you see a strategy and you've got it, like obviously you've learned from loads of different people. You've learned from, you've obviously been in STT Pro. I know that you've been part of a lot of other courses as well. I'm pleased to have helped you a bit. Take parts of everything, let it click, let it form a strategy, and then just iron the creaks out or iron the creases out of that strategy until you make it your own. And I see, because of me and my development, I see that you're not far away. You're not far away from being profitable. You're not far away. You're not far away from being profitable. And then after that, you've just got to control your mind. And if you can control your mind, then you do what I can't do. Because I know how to trade profitably. I'm too crazy. But I think you've got the discipline in yourself to not be as stupid.
Yeah, I might have to tone down the alpha brain. That makes me a little crazy.
I say double it. I say double it. I say double it up. I say just double it. It seems to be working. We'll wrap up with that. Proud of both you guys. Very pleased to have you in the competition. Liz, don't worry. You've got a lot more time to learn. You are both immune after Louis left this week gone by. So you are both going into the new year as contestants to be in the final 4. And I think as long as Tim Bowen keeps on not training his
yeah.
as long as he keeps on ignoring his stuff and I keep on training you, then we should be on to win. So
awesome.
Well done, guys. Thank you for participating.
Thanks, Steven.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, Liz.
Bye, Jude.
Hi, this is Aaron, aka Double A Ron from New York City, and I like to go outside and find a stray dog, preferably an aggressive breed like a pit bull or a Rottweiler. Then I get real close, stare it down eye to eye until it starts to chase me. Then I run. That's right, I run while listening to Steven and Tim on the SteadyTrade Podcast. You can register to win real actual prizes at their website, SteadyTrade.com. And if you really like what you hear, give the podcast a 5-star rating and write a glowing review on iTunes. I did, and this is how we say goodbye in New York City.